Okay, let's dive into one of the most powerful and, honestly, most overlooked parts of our entire body, the vagus nerve. Now, this isn't just some random nerve. Think of it as a secret superhighway that could be a total game changer for your health.
I mean, really think about that. What if you had a direct line, a kind of remote control for your body's command center for calm? It sounds a little like science fiction, right? But it's not. It's the vagus nerve. And learning how this thing works, it's like finally getting the user manual for your own emotional and physical state.
So let's map out this incredible network. This isn't just a single wire, it's a massive biological superhighway, a vast communication system that literally connects your brain to almost every single major organ in your body.
You know, we've all heard of the fight-or-flight response, that jolt of adrenaline we get when we sense danger. Well, that's our sympathetic nervous system. The vagus nerve is the key to its powerful opposite, the rest and digest system. It's our body's built-in brake pedal, the one that tells us, hey, it's safe, you can relax now.
So, if the vagus nerve is the superhighway, then how do we learn to drive it? Well, we can understand it through this brilliant framework called polyvagal theory, which kind of breaks down all our responses into three distinct states.
So this all comes from the work of Dr. Stephen Porges, who pretty much revolutionized how we see our automatic responses. He showed us it's not just about fight or flight. He actually mapped out three predictable states our nervous system shifts between, and it's all based on one simple, subconscious question: am I safe?
Probably the easiest way to think about these three states is like a traffic light. Green light means go. You're feeling safe, you're connected, you're social. Orange light means caution. You've detected a potential threat, something's up. And red light means stop. You're completely overwhelmed and you're shutting down.
Now, the goal isn't to stay in green forever. That's impossible. Life happens. It's totally natural to move up this curve into activation to handle challenges, and then come back down to a state of calm. A healthy nervous system is a flexible one. It flows dynamically through these states.
This is our ventral vagal state. Just think of it as your biological home base. When you're here, you feel safe, you can connect with people, you can learn new things, and your body can actually heal. This is where we want to spend most of our time.
But what happens when your nervous system senses danger? Well, it hits the gas pedal, shifting you right into the sympathetic state. This is that mobilized, high-energy feeling of anxiety or anger. It's designed to help you fight off a threat or, run away from it.
And what if fighting or fleeing isn't an option? Your body pulls the emergency brake. This is the dorsal vagal state, our most ancient survival circuit. It's a state of immobilization, where you might feel numb, kind of spaced out, or just completely shut down, to endure a threat that feels totally overwhelming.
Now, the problem isn't that we have these different states. We need all of them. The problem is when we get stuck in one of the survival modes, which, a lot of the time, is the result of unresolved trauma.
And this is what that can look like long-term. Getting stuck in that orange light sympathetic mode can feel like chronic anxiety, and just being on high alert all the time. You just can't settle down. But getting stuck in the red light dorsal vagal state is the opposite. It's numbness, it's disconnection, it's collapse. In both cases, the nervous system is basically trapped by the ghost of a past danger.
And this insight is just so powerful. It reframes that freeze response not as a choice or some kind of failure, but as an automatic, biological survival strategy. Your body took over to protect you in the only way it knew how. It's not your fault, it's your physiology.
So how do we get unstuck? This is the great news. We can consciously and intentionally activate our vagus nerve to guide ourselves back to that green light state of safety. So let's get into the practical stuff.
So here are 6 simple but really powerful ways to do it. And notice what they all have in common. They're physical actions. A longer exhale, a 30-second cold rinse, a walk in nature. These are all physical signals of safety that you are sending directly to your brain through your body.
And how do we know if it's working? Well, we can actually measure the health of our vagus nerve. It's called heart rate variability, or HRV. Now, it's not your heart rate. It's the tiny millisecond variations in time between each heartbeat. A higher, more variable number is a fantastic sign of a healthy, resilient nervous system.
Now, here's why those physical exercises are so powerful. Get this. A staggering 80% of the signals traveling along the vagus nerve go from the body up to the brain. This means we can change our physical state to change our mental state, not just the other way around. It's a two-way street, but one direction is a superhighway.
And this is where it gets really empowering.
When you track your HRV, you're basically competing against yourself to become more resilient. You can see in real time how your choices, that meditation, that cold shower, that good night's sleep, are directly strengthening your nervous system.
Okay, finally, let's put all this together and look at the big picture. Why is this theory so important? And, where does it stand in the scientific community today?
For therapists and their clients, this theory has been nothing short of revolutionary. It gives people a non-blaming, biological map for experiences that were previously just confusing or shameful. It gives them a new story for what's happening in their bodies, one that's based on biology, not on character flaws.
It's also really important to know that while it's incredibly useful in a clinical setting, polyvagal theory is still evolving. The wider scientific community is still doing research to fully validate and clarify all of its claims. So, it's a powerful model, but it's also an ongoing scientific conversation.
And this quote from therapist Deb Dana just captures the core takeaway perfectly. So much of what we think and feel is really a downstream effect of whatever state our nervous system is in. If you want to understand yourself, you have to start by understanding your body's signals of safety and danger.
So ultimately, your nervous system is telling the story of your life. By understanding these states, you gain the power to not just read that story, but to actively pick up the pen and help write its next chapter. A chapter of safety, of connection, and of resilience.